Welcome to Christian Analytics channel. We are going to continue our training on DAX in Power BI, how to use DAX function in Power BI, and we have discussed various functions as regards to DAX in Power BI, starting from DAX operator to its basic DAX operator to statistical function, discuss an iterator function that X is starting from expression, and we have different aggregation function with it, logical function. But this training, this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you on how to work with filter function, coupled with date and time function, and coupled with time intelligent function. So all these are very important. We are going to generate this before I start teaching you with visualization and storytelling in Power BI for dashboard building. So let's dive into Power BI, work with filter function, data time function, time intelligent function as regarded DAX function. So in filter function, we have various functions like related function, calculated, all except as one value, as one filter, is cross filter, related table, filter, and so on. In date function, we have date, number, month, year, date, day, today, now, and year, year accurate or calculation. We have our date, time intelligent function from day, white date, and also day, month to day. We're going to be discussing about this. And over time, which will guide you on how to work with general equation and formulations regarding to all these functions together. Let's dive into Power BI to see how it works. This is so this is Power BI. I think that by now you should have known how to import data inside Power BI. And from here, we are working with practice data sets. We're going to be working with practice data set, as we can see from the model table. So we have these are practice data sets, and they have different things for us to see the kind of data we are working with. So we have all this data. These are the data set we are working with. And we have the summation of all the data sets to be 2,339 rows. This is the summation of all these data sets we're working with. So we are working with filter function, date and time function, and time intelligent function. I'm going to be using everything together, be explaining it to you before I come up with different formation and application questions as related to it, before I guide you to work with the real life questions. And first things, because we are working with this is real life question, we are not working with table, and I told you that if you are working with table, you are going to be using new column. Since we are not working with table, we are in our canvas. So in our report view, so we have to create our table by ourselves. It means that we are going to be working with measure very well. Click on the table so that we are going to create our table by ourselves. So from here, and stretch the table. First thing we have to do is to click on dates. From dates, and we are working with our sales. Where it says, click on sales. We have our sales, profits. This sales amount, we click on our sales amount. These are sales amount. Now, from this area, paraventure, this is what we have made. You can click on to demarcate it. Be like, want to demarcate it from what we have done. Once we have done any calculation, we are going to demarcate it. So from here, we are having 12,950,597. So this is summation of all the sales that we are having. Now, The case whereby you are asked, hey, invite this so that I can see it. So in the case whereby you are asked, calculate for last year's sales. This is the current sales we have. We are asked to calculate for the last year's sales. How will you calculate it for the last year's sales? So you want to calculate it since we are working with our new table by ourselves. What you have to do is to click on new measure, click on the moment, click on the new measure. I want to calculate for the last year's sales. This is last year sales. So this is the currency we are having, but last year sales. First one, don't forget that inside our date function, theta function, we have calculate. So there are functions that we are going to work with. Don't forget we are working with theta function, we are working with date and time function, and also we are working with a time intelligent function, as you can see from our table that we are saying here. There's theta function. So inside theta function, we see calculate function. This this is inside a theta function. You can see that we are seeing calculate. So we have this calculate function. So we are going to be working most of all these things with time. So I know this function, we are going to see how to work with them. Just follow me, guide you how to work with them without confusing yourself. So with calculate function, first thing we have to work with, don't forget is last year since I want to calculate. I'll click on summation because I want to see as a single value. So then click on where's your sales amount. You have to click on close it here, comma. So I don't want to be writing it on a straight line. So I want to follow the queries I've written to trace if peradventure there is error there. So for me to do that, I'm going to click on the second paragraph so that my calculation can be so traceable. Then I'll click on shift and enter. Click second paragraph. So I'll continue with my calculation there. After clicking on calculation, is their sales amount. So I'm going to click on what I call same period last year. Same period last year. I see this same period last year is I want to calculate for last year is a function that we are having. So this same period function, by the time you go back to your to the function in PDF. So this same period last year, you can see that we are having same period last year under this place. So this same period last year, um, I wish. So this same period last year that we are having. So you can see that under time intelligent function. So you can see that we are working with both filter function coupled with all these things. That's why I must know how to use them. This same period last year. This same period last year. So I see that we are working with it under calculated function. So what we are going to be using filter function and all these things are interchangeably. Interchangeably. So that's how to work that. So let's go back to our calculation. So once you click on simple last year, next thing that you are going to work with is now to click on date because we are working with dates. So the idea dates, simple last year and close it here. Click on OK. When you click on OK, or you commit it from this green commit here. So you can see that we're having a model. Just click on this model here. We're going to see inside it. Now, this same period last year. So for last year, we made 10,349,761. So you can click on comma here to demarcate it. So you click on comma will demarcate it here. You can click it from here. You can see 10,349,761. So that is, but for last year, the current year, we have 12 million. And that shows that for last year, we made this. Now, for us to trace it, if you want to trace it, so you can just come to this column model here, then cancel date. So when you cancel date, you are going to see the formulas you have done at the time you throw it out. It means that it will remove a year from the calculation. It will remove a year from the calculation. So that is how to calculate it. If it is 2 years, you remove 2 years. So because it's same period last year or last year. So we can decide to use this. If you don't want to do this, you can use another one called um, parallel period function. You can use parallel period function if you feel like you want to use another function for it. So we have different functions that you may use. So we have another function that you may use. For instance, we have this. We have date function. We have date and period function. We have different parallel period function, date and period function. So this is how to use that. Um, we have parallel vision. Now, the difference between this parallel vision, parallel same period last year and parallel period is an in same period have only one argument. In a case whereby you are asked to um look for the sales we made for 2 years ago, or the sales we made for 10 years ago, or the sales we made for about 10 months ago. It depends on the data set you're working with. Let me work with 10 months ago sales. So same period last year cannot do because same period last year can only work with just one argument, which is last year's sales. So for us to work with 10 months ago, click on new measure. I'm still working with the table. So click on the new measure. Next thing we have to do from here, let me click on, which is 10 months ago, ago sales, 10 months ago sales. Under 10 months sales, I'm going to click on calculate. Just want to calculate for it. We have some, and we have our sales. This is our sales. Close it from here, cancel it. Click on the next paragraph by clicking on shift and enter on your keyboard. So once you have done that, the next thing you have to do is to click on parallel. When I say parallel, this is parallel period. Parallel period will help us to specify different months based on their interval, which same period cannot do. Same period can only work with just one argument, but parallel period can work with different intervals. So click on this is our date. So then we click on our dates, click on comma. So it's asking for the number of interval that we are having. You can see that it's asking for the number of interval that we are having from we are looking for this number of interval. So after the number of interval, the next thing we have to do is to click on 10 months. 10 months will be minus 10, comma. So if you can see the number of interval, we have specified that it's minus 10. The reason why we put minus there is that any analysis subject can only work descriptive analysis because we are working with 10 months ago, which is by 10 months past that we are working with. By month, by year, or by quarter. So is it by month, you click on by month. If it is by quarter, you click on by quarter. If it is by year, you click on by year. It depends on how large or how big the data set you are working with is. Click on month and close it. Enter. So wait for it to load. So you can see it here 10 months ago. But let's see it says that we made for 10 months ago. So let me demonstrate it. For 10 months ago says we made 10,809,750. But that is for 10 months ago that we made. So we made this 10 months ago. Now, having been the answers that we want to see for about 2 years ago, 2 years, what we made for 2 years ago. You can use same period last year. What we use here, can use same period last year, can use this one. Can only use this the formation for the formula we used for 10 months ago because we want to specify for about year two. I want to specify for about series of frequencies and period. So that shows that we can use parallel period as well. And you click on new measure, then what the 2 years ago, 6. So that is the area of working with want to predict this, all this analysis of it cannot predict. Can only predict using higher software like higher programming SPSS, Python, majorly Python. So in which it's going to be, I've done different training on that that will still guide you. That should follow my channel to follow. I'll be guiding you. I will guide you and navigate you to the highest form of training. So this is we just use calculator as well. I'll click on our sum, and this is our six. So we want to calculate for shift enter, calculate for about 2 years ago six. So I'm still going to use parallel period. And this parallel period, I'll click on my date because I'm working with their time. So time comprises of month, year, date, week, and all that. So click on this is -2. Then we click on year because I'm working with year. Enter. When you enter, you can let's wait for it. You can click on this commit as well to enter it. But I love pressing enter on my keyboard. Click on 2 years. You click on 2 years, just enlarge this. So and let me put comma to see what this can become. So for 2 years ago, we made 7,672,290. It means that we are making we are increasing it gradually. So we can see that this is what we have made for 2 years ago. So, and this is a summation we are seeing from here. And as well, most time you can have that you should calculate for if you calculate for some quarter, maybe you want to look for how many sales we made for about 3 quarter. 3 quarter, sales we made for fourth quarter, 2 quarter. So that also is available. You can see use parallel period as well. So that so want to make for 2 quarters ago sales, and 2 quarters will be from January to June. That is about 2 quarter. We have 4 quarter in a year. First quarter is from January to March. Second quarter is from April to June. So and third quarter is from July to August. From July to September. And fourth quarter is from October to December. So for 2 quarter now, we calculate from January to June. How many sales we make? That it will calculate for us. This is two quarter sales. So calculate for it as well. Calculate. So then we have for analysis calculation. Then click on our sales amount. Then from here we click on parallel period. Under your parallel period, then pass in your date function. So and with their date, comma -2, which is my quarter. Then I'm working with quarter. I'll click on quarter from here, and I'll close it. So working on it, pressing enter. So it's working on it. So we have it here already in our model. Please 2 quarter 6. Click on it. So we can see that for 2 quarter we may let me demarcate it by comma. For 2 quarter from January to June, we make 11,741,761. That's how to do it. Now, for in the case whereby they further the question by asking us to look for how many sales we made for 70 days ago. No, I didn't mean they said 60 days ago. We know that one is 2 months. It's 2 months. We can calculate just 2 months. Or 70 days ago. 70 days ago simply means that 2 days, 2 months, and 10 days. You calculate it. That shows that there's another function we are going to use for that. And the function we are going to be using for that is what I call date add. Is what I call date add function. Date add function also is available here. So in our function here, can generate it. So can work with what I call date add. This date add here. I see this date add. So you can use these functions to generate it as well. So let's see how it works. So I want to calculate for 70 days ago sales. So I'll click on new measure, 70 days ago sales. I'll click measure. And from this measure, I'll just click on 70 days ago sales. And we calculate for it, calculate, and we have our sum. Then we have our sales amount. That is, if you are calculate for anything that's involving days. So click on that. But the funny now that date can do many things together. So you can see practice passing our date function. This is 70 minus 70. So now in date function, people use this function, but I introduced the previous two functions for you. For you to know that they are available as well. But date function can do all the previous functions I've introduced so far, from day, month, year, quarter. Year, date, month, quarter, year. So date function can do all this without stress. So date function can do it. So, but I'm clicking on date, but I think I'm the one working, I work with date functions. I work with date add, but date add has all those functions and I can do it without stress. You click on date, command then enter. So you can calculate for 80 days ago. You can calculate for all this 130 days ago. Those things that does not have, it's not really going to do with month, quarter, year, but you can break it down by day. So you can click on this function. So for 70 days ago, it's 12 million. So it's different from the actual sales now from here, which is 12,950,597. But this one is 12 million, 491 for 70 days ago sales. So that one is 2 months and 10 days. So this is the same we have made so far and that we made. Now that is how to work with that. Now from what we have written here, or what we have done, I then build from this 70 days ago. I want to see the sale we made on a particular items. On a particular item. By the time you click on this dates table, so you can see that we have different items here, ovens. By the time you scroll it down, you can see different items that we're having. These are microwave, oven, toaster, air conditioner, dishwasher. We have dishwasher, ceiling fan. We have um, different items that we have in oven, grinders, ovens, toasters, and other air conditioner. So we have them, they are available here. So if our question is now that for about um 70 days ago that we have here, this is I click on it, and just double click on it, it will bring out the formula again. So I didn't mean now from the ask you from here that they should tell you different sales amount you need for 70 days on a particular item. For instance, microwaves. Let me look for instance, this is microwave. I want to see how many sales we make on microwave because this is summation of different items. This is the summation of different items that we have here. So for us to see, say we make on a particular items from here. So it means that I'm going to couple this function with filter function. I'm going to couple with filter function. So the filter function that I showed you here, this filter function I'm showing you here, this is we are going to couple with filter function, and I use different filter functions to bring it out. Now, so I can use any functions that I like. It depends on how accurate you are. So from there, so I will remove one, I'll click on command, and I will enter again the second paragraph. After I've done that, the next thing I will have to do from here, just to click on what? On filter, click on filter, then filter table. The table I'm working practice data set. So what is the expression? I'm working with the items. I will click on practice items. When I click on practice item, it's got I'm going to I want to work with. I'm going to quote it. When I quote what I'm working with, I want to work with I want to work with microwaves. I want to work with microwave. So this is microwave. I quote it. The reason I quote it because we quote string. It's the only number that we don't quote. I'll close it here. So I'll close it again. I'll enter. You can see that something will change here. It will not be 12 million again. So it will not be, it will reduce it. Can you see? It will reduce it to 1,805,000 and what? And 46. So if I change this over to another item, maybe I change this to over. Just make sure that functional. This is how you are going to be doing filtering. This one is 1,062,256. Let me look for another items that we can use here. That work tools. So see, we have another one. We have iron, we have washing machine. So let me click on iron too. So let me just generate it 70 process. So if I click on this, I will have this is iron. This is iron. When you click on iron, you can see that this is iron is 1,430,992. That is for iron. Now you can do it again for any sales. So from here, maybe I should do it for last year sales. This for last year sales. I will go back to my last year sales. I'll tag it from here. So when we click on last year sales, and the last year sales it, so you can do the same thing. So in this last year sales, I'm going to click on a particular items, and I'm going to click on or a particular. I will not click on I've used item there. In this last year, I'm going to be working with a particular country. How many sales we make in different country? Now in country we have different countries too. We click on this table. Let me show you the table. This is the table that I have here. So we have our table. We have different countries: Greece, India, USA. We have different countries. Now, if you go back to it, click on this because we have not done anything. That's why you're seeing the error. Once you finish the calculation, you're going to see how it works. Right click on it. When you click on it, you're going to see. Then you can further the questions. So, that for the function. When you click on the function, what you are just going to do is to click on this filter function. When you click on filter function, where is the table? Practice. So I'm working with your country. I want to bring out a country out. So it's asking for the filter expressions. I'm going to click on the country, syntax. When I click on filter, the country, then I will enter the country I want. Let me use a bank. Let me USA. Say USA, you don't say any country. This USA. When I click on this USA, then now watch. We are having 10 million here, but if you click on it, you see that the thing will change. Because under the last year says, wait for it to work. Can you see? For last year say, let me demarcate it with a comma. So for USA, for last year, for a year ago, we make 1,399,137 in USA. Now you can further it. You can further it. If you want to further it, maybe you want to add a particular contribution of a salesperson in a particular country. What you are just going to do is to add another filter. So practice. So practice now. Maybe a staff. You want to see contribution of a staff in a particular country. So this is, we are going to work with this is salesperson. When you click on salesperson, then click on this, the salesperson. What is the name of that place? The salesperson want to work with. Let me generate a particular salesperson for you. Let me check a particular country. Don't worry about the error you are seeing. Let me work with Thomas Gordon. This is Thomas Gordon. So let me see what he have made in USA. So for last year. So for last year, Thomas Gordon in US last year in USA, let's see his contribution. That's how to generate out the information of a particular salesperson working for a company. This is Thomas Gordon. Just make sure you write the spelling very well. Close it, and enter. You see that it will bring it out for us. Let's see which is working on it. Now, for Thomas Gordon, Now you can see that Thomas Gordon is not bringing anything. That shows that Thomas Gordon is not in that place. Let's work with another salesperson. Thomas Gordon does not sell anything in USA. That's why we do not see any function. So, but let's work with Susan. I know those name already. Susan Dixon. Susan Dixon. So this is Susan Dixon. Susan Dixon also is not there because it's Susan. It's not Susan. Susan Dixon have the spelling, have written it very well. It's not working as well. It's not there. Let's work with May Wimot. May Wimot. This will Wimot. And let's enter it. Let's see will Wimot is will Wimot. This will Wimot. Let's see whether will Wimot is there. Will Wimot also is not there. Now let's change this particular function, this particular country to Russia. Russia. So let's say Russia. So we can see that their contribution in Russia. Contribution can be seen in Russia. So we know what is in Russia, can you see? So this country, they are not there, all these names I've mentioned. That's how to generate, work with different filters as per time. Russia, maybe more. So we can start filtering both by country and also by salesperson or whatever thing they want to see. Can start working with it. That's how to use filter coupled with all these time intelligence function. And most times they will tell you that you should calculate different sales you make for each year. You can just say calculate for each year sales. So that shows that we can calculate for another table. Let's use another table to calculate that. So let me drag this in. Let me create another table. So you have to do that for each sales, calculate for each year sales. Each year sales. We are asked to calculate for each year sales. This is how to work with that. So we can generate this. So click on dates and click on sales amount. Now I'm going to see the sale we made for each year sales. So that's how to calculate for each year sales. So I'll click on my new measure. For new measure, work with it. So under this new measure, under new measure is to work with this is 2014 sales. Then I'll click on calculate. So we have our sales amount. This is sales amount. Calculate, comma, then enter. So from this one that we have calculated. So for each year sales, click on filter. So we are still working with how to use filter for it. It's our practice. When you click on practice, then this is practice what calculate for each year under this filter. So dates. So under this date, don't forget that we are working with this date. Now, from this day, you are going to click on year, not date again, it's year. So from here, then calculate for what? You are going to calculate for 2014. When you click on for 2014, because we have different year there. So this is 2015, 20, all different from 2014. By the time you scroll up, you're going to see that this thing is starting from 2014. You can see that we have in 2014. So we want to see different say we made for each of the year. So from here, so let's see last year, which is 2014. This 2014 says, click on it. Right, in 2014, so see what we have made on 2014. We made, this is, we made what, 2,680,764. Now for 2014. Now for 2015, I don't have to be doing it again. I will just highlight this. I just highlight these functions. Then I'll click on Control C to copy it. New measure. New measure. Then I click on new measure. I will paste it there. Then I will paste it. I'll paste it there. I'll paste it by Control V, paste it. I will change to 2015. I'll come back here also to 2015. Enter. this 2015, I will click on it. So for 2015, we made this. So by the time you scroll down, you are going to see 2015 as well. Can you see this 2015 as well? So we made what? 2,175,572,587. So we can as well copy it, Control C. Or you press your Control C, click on new measure. When you click on new measure, then Control V paste it. This is changes to 2016. So don't be changes to any year you feel like you are still working with filter and 2016. You can continue doing it like that until it works without any stress. This 2016. By the time you scroll this one down, you scroll down, you can see that we made this. So this is working with different year, function with filter. So that's how to work with that. All those time intelligence and all that. That's how to work with that. So another way around, you can still do how to generate a particular year. Maybe when they ask you that you should calculate for 2015 year and date. They ask you to calculate for a particular year, say it will be for a particular year, for a particular month, and a particular date. We are going to use date function with that. This by using date function, maybe they ask us to calculate on 2015, then and on the 20, 10, 20. So that shows that we're having 2015, 10, 20. So what we just need to calculate. So that shows that a year, date, and a year, month, and date. So calculate for our sum says, so says amount, we close it here, then click on Shift Enter. So you can use a particular functions to generate that. I click on this is practice. This is practice and date. When you click on date, just click on date here. This is by date, ordinary dates. So this is 2015. Then, comma, just see the syntax and follow it, and on 20, close it. The brackets. So that shows that I want to see the same method, particular year, month, and date. So this is what you have in here. By the time you click on it, you have seen the function. The function is already here. So for this particular day, let me take it account. For a particular year, 2015, 10, and 20, we made what it means 5,039. So for this particular year, month, and day. So that's how to work with that. So there's another function I will introduce you to as well. They are called time intelligence function. Under this time intelligence function, I'm still going to work with different functions and dates, so that I'm going to be using to guide you through. So this is month to date. I want to see instead of us calculating this something we are seeing here, you can use a functions to calculate without doing it separately. You can calculate them inside a particular function without stress. So for you to do that, it means that if you calculate separately for us different sales we made for each year inside the same folder without calculating it separately like this. Now, if you want to do that, just click on your sales as well. This under your sales amount. Click on sales amount. So no, before you click on sales amount, click on date. This sales amount. So now, before I calculate it, don't forget that the function we have here, so I can show you in our slide. So this is month to date, year to date, and all that under this time intelligence function that we are seeing here. Can guide us as well to know what to do. So you can see that under this here, this is month to date. These are different here. You can see them here, even down to this side. So they can guide you to know what we are about to do. So month to date, years to date, that is what they do. They calculate in the same folder without calculating them separately. so without any stress. So if you want to do that, so I want to see month to date. That shows that for 2014, see your total sale we made. For 2015, tell us total sale we, that is by month. We'll be calculating for months, for each month, what we made. So the previous one we add to the next one, to the previous one we add to the next one. We will calculate for us different months, what we made in different months. So if they ask you to calculate for say we made for different months, so we are going to use month function or use to generate that or to do that. Now, let me use month to date before I calculate for year to date. But then it goes to the end of January. You are going to see what you made for end of January. For end of February, you are going to see what you have made for end of February, end of March. So it will calculate for you different sales and sales amount we make for each month. That is what month today is all about. Now let's see how it works. So I'll click on new measure. This is new measure. So when I click on new measure, so I will click on the month today sales. Month today sales. So under this month today sales, I'll click on total. I need to move total month today, total years to date, and total quarter to date. So, but I'll click on total month today first. Under this total month today, I'll click on summation as a single value. So once I've done that, I'll click on number six amount. Under this 6 amount, this one will become practice by their dates. I'll close it, enter. And it's very simple to do. So this month today, under the model here, click on month today says. So this month today says, can you see? It will return this says is starting from January 2nd. So we have 2,256. You can see. Now, this 256 we add to what we made in January 3rd. Will become in January 4th, we did not have any sales. So we return the same value. So January 5, we made this sales. If we add it to the previous sale, we made this. So if we go to the end of January 2014, end of January 2014, you see what we have made. So end of January 20, end of January 20, end of January 31, see what we made on that. So we can see that end of January. So this is January 31. This is what we made. We make 20,000, make 206,000, and so forth. So if we start under calculation from February 2014, January 4, February 1st, and it's another calculation. By the time you move to the end of February as well, move to the end of February. So this end of February 28, we made this. It will start under calculation from March 1st. So in a case whereby you have to calculate for each sales we made for each month, you are going to use this formula to generate it. As well, you can use this formula to generate, just highlight it to generate quarter to date as well. It's interactive in nature, so let's make sure that let me introduce. It's interactive. Anything that's about Power BI, which we are still going to get there without any just how we go about that. So we return it. I'm returning it because I click on something. So that's why I say bringing another function. Now we can use this function, this month to date, can as well use it for so we can as well use a new measure. Let me use new measures. Can as well use it for quarter to date. This is quarter to date 6. So quarter to date also we go to calculate for each quarter, say from January to February and all that. Total. Uh, measure. It's working on it. New measure. Let me open the new folder. This is quarter to date sales. I'll cancel this. I want to do I want to copy some things here without any stress. Let me remove this from folder and I can copy from there. Let me just use this function to do it. Click on the month to this is that we have made this. Let me see this month to see. Control S, Control C rather. Then click on new measure. Then this paste it. So put this thing to you paste it by pressing Control V. This is quarter to date. Quarter to date since. So this is quarter to date since. So change this to this month to this. Change this to quarter to date. Quarter to date. Enter. So it will be more easier for us doing that. Quarter to date. Then click on click and click on this. So you can see quarter to date. Now this quarter to date from January to March of 2014, you calculate them. So we are moving to the end of March. So end of March 31 is this. We made this up. We made 651,669. So we start another calculation for second quarter. This second quarter. Can you say second quarter? So April 24 is the second quarter. You can say second quarter April. You start another calculation. You move down again to the end of June. This end of June. End of June. We raise 670,170. You will move again to third quarter. So this is how to calculate it. You can calculate by quarter, you can calculate by month. So also we can do for year, instead of calculating the one we did the other time separately, you can just use these functions for it, paste it. So this one, change these ones to year. This is year to date. Year to date. This is year to date. So then I will just click on this by changing this to years to date. So we click on enter. This is year to date. Let's see. Let's see this year to date, calculate it. So yesterday. Now this yesterday we calculate this as the way we calculate this. You will see you are going to see now, for instance, now we see this as 2014. So we have this as 2014. You are going to be seeing the calculation without any stress. So if you go to the end of 2014, this is by year. 2014. Let's see. Let's see what we have done with that. Year 2014 is this is the year 2014. This is another year. 2014 we 200 and make what? Make 2,680,000 and 740 and 764. You can see that this one we here 2,680,000 and 764. You can see it here, and this one we are having here as well. Now you see that we can discover and do it from here, or we decide to do it. If they ask you to do it separately, you use that formula. They ask you to do it in the same folder, we use this function. Now, there is another function you can use. If you don't want to be using all this date function, you will still give us the same function. Now, let me use it on this year to date so that you can see. So if you don't want to use this total by today, you can use a date function as well. Let me show you. This is a date function. This is a date function. You just see from under date function. we have this, and you can use date month to date as well. If you want to use total month to date, you can use date function. So for each date and date white day, which is date month to date 6. So you can use this calculate, use it with calculate is the filter function, one of the filter function attributes, sum. Then we click on our sales amount. This is our sales amount. And from there, what you are going to click on date. Can you see this date? Date month to date, quarter to date. So, but I want to use date function for instance, so that you can use that one as well. So under this date one, just click on your date function. And also with your date function, then close it. You can see that you're going to get the same function with the previous one you have done. And click on it. It's working. Can you see that we are getting this function? Can you see that the formula we use there is different from the one we used to do this? In this one, we use total month to date. This one we use calculate sum, and we came here to do the sum. We still got the same result. And the previous one we did was here. Previous we did, we use total month to date function for it. Total month to date. But this one we use date function for it. So we decide to use date function, we decide to use y to date function, if you like. So this is what this is all about. It makes work more flexible, more wonderful. I'm still going to be teaching you on how to work with some of it, and also to bring out different function and formula, without stress with time. Thank you for listening.